Welcome to Korra Talk, episode 2, take 4, because I couldn't get 5 seconds to myself to make this video. Today, I thought I would talk about something special in the Avatar: The Last Airbender franchise. Something just fantastic. No, it's not fantastic at all. It was one of the worst things I've ever seen, and I'm going to let you guess what it is. Worst things I've ever seen. Didn't even It was terrible. It was terrible. I saw it a while back. Some of my friends liked it. Some people liked it. Some people got mad at me because I didn't like it. But I found out on the internet a majority of people didn't like it. A majority of people who actually watched the show. And by that, you've probably guessed that what I'm talking about here is The Last Airbender by M. Night Shyamalan. Oh my, where do I start? Where do I start? For those of you who are fans of The Last Airbender and you haven't seen the movie, other people might have told you not to see the movie, but if you're a fan of the show, you have to see the movie. It's bad, but you have to see it just to grasp the terribleness. I'm gonna be really generous to this movie. I'm not gonna say how much I feel about it. I'm just gonna say the things they could have done better, the things that I wish they had put in, the things that I wish they had left out. It was just a terrible, terrible. I cannot think of a movie that is worse that I've seen. The Last Airbender is the worst movie I've ever seen based on one of the greatest TV shows I've ever seen. And it's weird because when you make a movie about a show that's like, how many episodes is in season 1? Post it in the comments, but it's a lot. Post in the comments how many episodes are in season 1. But when you can't make a movie out of that, you just can't. Or wait, maybe you can. But this movie it wasn't even long enough to get the entire story out. So where should I begin? Where should I begin? Well, I guess the only place I can begin is, well, the beginning. So, it starts out with everything you'd expect. The intro to the show, 100 years ago, the Earth was in peace and all that stuff was good. Then it shows you the little, you know how in the show, in the first episode, the very first episode, they did that thing where Katara and Sokka were in the Southern Water Tribe. Sokka was holding the lantern and all that stuff in front of the village. Yeah, they did that, and I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. But then my expectations were about to be smashed when they find Aang in the iceberg. Everything's awesome. They bring him back to the village. Katara walks up to Aang in a hut or something, and she asks him, "What's your name?" And to remind you, I saw this in the movies, in the movie theater, the first time I ever saw it. And Katara said, "What's your name?" This kid, I swear to God, if you haven't seen the movie but you've seen the show, turns around and says, "My name is Ong." You heard me right. Ong. O-N-G. Not O-M-G. Like some of you thought I was going to say. But no, O-N-G. Ong. Not Ang. There's a difference. And, God. Okay. What are we talking about? Okay. So after that disappointment, oh yeah, also another name, Sokka, the comic relief. Yeah. Soka. I don't know how to spell it. Well, I guess I do, but I'm not going to. Just Soka. It's not Sokka. Katara is the only person out of the main characters who gets their name right. And when there are like 3 main characters and only one of them is right, I'm sorry, that's strike one movie. That's strike one in Night Shyamalan. But to the movie's credit, I guess what people were trying to tell me was that supposed to have more of an Asian culture. But the show had plenty of that, and they could still get the names right. Like, it's not just Chinese, Indian, and all that Asian culture. It's got a little bit of Western culture in it too. But yeah, I guess I like the series names better, but I can see why they changed it. It was just not, it didn't work for me, and apparently it didn't work for a lot of other people. I watched this video, a guy actually set a copy of the movie on fire. It was terrible, but all in all, movie gets a 6 out of 10. I'm being real generous with that 6. Because it just didn't work. And I don't know, there was just a feel to it as soon as I heard that it wasn't gonna work. So story-wise, you know the story of the series, but this, I mean, I'm not saying it takes another route. It keeps true to the story, I guess. But another thing with this movie, characters. Let's talk about characters. Jet, not in the movie. King Boomy, not in the movie. Momo, not in. No. I'm sorry. Momo is in the movie. He's in the movie. Who else isn't in the movie that was supposed to be in the movie? It'll come to me. It'll come to me. So you know the deal. They fly around helping villages. Oh, before that, there was a scene where Zuko had captured Aang on the ship, and they were going to give him, and I swear to God, the Avatar test. I swear to God, they had captured Aang just like they did in the show. But unlike the show, they gave him the Avatar test. So they laid out earth, water, fire, and air in front of him, and apparently he failed the test, which means he's the Avatar, or passed it, which means he's the Avatar. Either way it goes, they find out he's the Avatar, but that never really happened. It's like, okay, first off, when you fought him in the village, he was using airbending against you. And if you know anything about the airbenders, is that they're all dead. And if you find one, then that one is the Avatar. So why even give him the test? 2, he has ancient airbender tattoos everywhere. So isn't that kind of a dead giveaway? Why do you have to? How many other people can airbend? Name one other person. Yeah. So anyway, they escape Zuko's ship, and kinda cause in the show they didn't just escape. Sokka and Katara had to come in and help him. But this one, he gets on his hang glider and flies away, which I thought was really, cause in the show they had a very good fight slash chase scene, I guess. And that was very good, but this, he just left. Okay. All the rest of the movie was okay. There's this scene where he goes to the ancient airbender temple by himself, which never happened. And there's also, when he gets there, there's an old man there. And he sells Aang to the Fire Nation, sells him out. And this is like where they say the Blue Spirit and all came in and saved him, but I may be wrong, but okay, I know they couldn't have kept in the finding the frogs thing, but yeah. There's no one at the ancient temple. No one's there. They're deserted. No one even can get there without a sky bison, which is how Aang got there. So how did this old guy get there? Which is kind of crazy. And it was awkward too, like, dude, no one's supposed to be here. Anyway, the Blue Spirit comes in, saves Aang, find out it's Zuko, yeah. Climax. Okay, so the Fire Nation is getting ready to attack the Northern Water Tribe. And in the show, it was cool because Zhao was standing on the front of the warship, and he's like, the water tribe's 100 years of resistance is over or something like that. And then the camera just pans up and there are like 50 more Fire Navy ships out there in the ocean behind him, like getting ready to attack the Northern Water Tribe. In the movie, it's a lot different. The movie has 5 ships. I swear to God, 5. A friend of mine watched the movie, counted 5. And they were, I mean, they just had the catapults. They were chunking fire rocks at these lizard things that actually were in the show. But it was kind of underwhelming. Like in the show, you felt like, oh my god, the Fire Nation's attacking. What do we do? What do we do? In the movie, it's like, oh no, the Fire Nation's attacking. Get the Avatar. It'll save us. But they saved them in the series, but it's just there was no sense of danger or anything like that. So anyway, you know how? Okay, no. Aang is like at the first wall of the Northern Water Tribe, looking down on all these Fire Nation ships, and they're chunking rocks, flaming rocks at the water people. And at this moment, I'm sitting in the movies, and I'm like, oh my god, this is the scene where Aang turns into the giant water catfish thing and starts killing people. Well, he doesn't kill people, but, well, and starts just destroying ships. But that's not how it goes down in the movie. In the movie, he makes a wave. A wave. I'm honest to God, here, a wave. If you haven't seen the movie, but you've seen the series, just a wave. But it's a huge wave, grant him that. But in the end, he doesn't crash it on him. Which is kind of ridiculous. Because, oh, I have this big wave up here. And granted, if I was a Fire Nation soldier on that boat and I saw that, I'd be like, oh my god, he's gonna smash it on us. He just lets it trickle down and no one gets hurt. And if I was a Fire Nation soldier and he did that, I would keep attacking. That doesn't really change anything. But instead, they just turn around and go home. Really? I mean, in the show, I actually think Aang killed some people. No, because he turned into the giant water spirit thing. And you started taking out boats. You don't think there were Fire Nation people under the um under the what do you call it? Like inside the boat, who just when he sank all the boats that no one died. I think people died there, but nope, no one dies. It's like how do you just take a big event where lots of people die and then just make it to where no one dies at all? That's that's another strike. I just didn't like this movie. It didn't work for me. If it worked for you, that's great. If you're not a fan of the show and it worked for you, that's great. If you're a fan of the show and it didn't work for you, you're on my side. And if you never seen the movie and you want to because you're an Avatar: The Last Airbender fan, I'd say you're not gonna like it, but definitely check it out. It's worth checking out. It's not good by any stretch of the word, but that's my opinion on it. If you disagree, then disagree. But that's just how I viewed it.